Father. Or should I call you Steve? Since it's a new year, maybe we should start cooking fresh, with fewer smoke alarms this time. Your cooking's improving, but I can see the stress in your eyes. Anna's mom used this Blue Apron assemble and bake thing during our playdate. Pre-chopped ingredients, over 40 grams of protein, and just one pan to clean up. She just tossed it in the oven and boom, plating like she's got followers. So go to blueapron.com, Steve. Make 2026 the year you win dinner. Blue Apron. Get $50 off your first 2 orders plus free shipping with code STIR50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
I'm here with Tom this week. How's it going, Tom?
Yeah, really good, thank you. How about you?
Yeah, very good. I'm feeling more upbeat after the FA Youth Cup final. I had my tongue in my cheek, hoping to wind up a few Scousers, but I did kind of have it at the back of my mind that if, having won the FA Youth Cup, which is a prestigious tournament, if Liverpool lose out in the league, which looks likely, get beaten by Real Madrid in the European Cup final, which is always possible, and Tuchel does the business in the FA Cup final, a lot of ifs here, we'll have had more successful season than them. I put that to you.
That is true. What will people remember of this season? They will remember Garnacho's goals. They won't remember what happened in the League Cup final.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you were there, right? Amazing. 60-odd thousand turned out at Old Trafford for the FA Youth Cup final. That shows some passion, that does. That's the soul of the club right there, even if the executives don't understand it.
It really was amazing. I went to the last time we were there when obviously like the Pogba, Lingard, Sam Johnston, the Keane brothers era, which was a quality team for Vilmore. And I think there was probably about 25, 30, maybe 40,000 at that one. And it just, and like the level of like how much, I guess maybe the passion for United has gone up in that level, or maybe the fact that we haven't had much to cheer for. Kind of people have went out in their droves, but the difference, the comparative difference, is incredible from that to this. And it was just like a Legends game or something where there's a lot of people pack the crowd, or like Soccer Aid or whatever you get at Old Trafford, where like everyone packs the crowd, and it was just a tranquil atmosphere. It was a proper atmosphere.
Well, a lot of Forest fans there as well, which helped, I think.
Yeah, 5,500. I think they took. They completely sold out their allocation. They even had the top end of that stand as well, like only a tiny bit of it, but they still had the top end, which obviously like Premier League games. So, and it was properly celebrating goals, celebrating tackles and stuff.
Great,
it felt like a really real big game, which is awesome, and the players really fed off that.
I think so. I mean, I thought United felt a little bit nervous, and maybe the crowd played into that. And overall, Forest put in a great performance, given the level of the club and all of that. And obviously, we know their coach Warren Joyce very well. He's a very good youth coach, and we can certainly point to the goals and say, hey, bit unlucky, basically. So, but a few of United's big players grew into it after perhaps a nervous start. And obviously, United technically were better, clearly. But they just had to match up to the physicality and the passion of Forest. I thought they could be lost and it's patronising, but they could be pretty proud of what they brought to that game.
Yeah, and I'm from Nottingham, so I have a lot of Forest, and I kept saying that to them, like, oh, your boys looked a lot more physical than United, and they looked like it looked like men against boys, to be honest.
Yeah, it did parts. Yeah,
United's players were really, really small in comparison to Forest. Like, there's two big lads there. One was the lad who played Dale Taylor, is it? Who played?
Yes,
he played for Northern Ireland's first team, and then a song as well. They were two men. They were enormous, and like they could just bully our players at times. And I think their centre halves bullied United centre forwards at times, because like you say, United were far superior, but they were maybe just weak in challenges. But I guess that's probably why Forest have been successful in this season's FA Youth Cup and in the league as well. They're level on points with United in the.
Well, it's interesting how you think about youth football. Yeah, is it a pathway to the first team and to development, or are you trying to succeed in a competition? Because it can be both, and actually, I think United take it as a development pathway more than like success. And they do play with a younger age group, both at under 18s and under 23s, than perhaps some do. I mean, even Jackson on the left side of United's defence, 16-year-old came into the team. He wouldn't have started but for injuries. And so, I think physically not as strong. You had Kobe Mainu in midfield looking very small. I think Isaac Hansen, he kind of burned out, didn't he? Lovely touches, and obviously we've seen him before. He's a very technically gifted player, but he does tend to come off after sort of 60-odd minutes, and he looked small in comparison. And McNeil, who's not a small chap, really, but just couldn't really get into it, I thought, which was a surprise given how many goals he scored.
Yeah, and I think Hugo was a really good sub to bring on because obviously he's a lot more physical. Kind of, and he had a lot of pace to burn in that last 30 minutes, which proved really important, to be honest, because on a big pitch, Forest players kept going down with cramp a lot, even when they were down 2 and 3-1, they couldn't continue. And whereas United have had the chance to play on that big pitch a few times this season in the FA Youth Cup, whereas Forest wouldn't have obviously had that opportunity. And I think that helped with bringing on the fresh legs, because Oyedele as well was really good when he came on in midfield.
Yeah, he's a good player,
Yeah, real energy. And I think Hugo as well, them two combined were really good. I think also, back to the point when you made about Forest, United obviously bringing players through for development purposes, and I think maybe Forest have done that the same way as well, because obviously the Championship's a lot more physical than the Premier League, and maybe those types of players will suit Forest's first team as in the same respect as like the United players. Obviously, we're targeting technical footballers, and it was a really interesting comparison of styles, especially at that level where sometimes you get a lot of teams that play similar types of football because they're just being trained to play passing football, and it was really interesting to see those two comparisons of styles.
I mean, if Forest don't make it through the playoffs, because they might do, you can imagine a lot of these players getting chances next season. So we'll see. They probably wouldn't in the Premier League. Throwing some raw kids into the Premier League is not really a model for success when you're a team just coming up. But we'll see there. Talk about the goals a little bit. Header from Reece Bennett and twice taken free kick. Bit lucky United there, because they were trying to sort of cheat the referee who caught them and pulled it back. Well, good header. Probably a mistake there from the keeper. Could probably have saved it, but nice opening for United. Probably Forest had the better of those first 10 minutes, I'd say. So, and probably against the run of the play, that opening goal.
Yeah, the goal really lifted United as well, because they were the better team following that goal. Like you said, we started a little bit nervously. Maybe that was just the factors of the crowd being as amazing as it was. That must be quite a daunting prospect. But that goal really settled us down. We started to play through midfield. Initially, we went long with almost every kick, and it was kind of, I don't know if it was maybe the coach saying first 10-15 minutes, let's not concede, let's not do anything silly, we'll just play out and not concede early. Especially for youngsters, I'm sure that's a good thing to say to them. But as we kind of were braver and started to play through midfield, we really started to dominate. And then when they scored, which was obviously a real bad mistake from the keeper, that changed the game again. Like, they scored out of nowhere really against a run of play, like we scored against a run of play, and then we were just kind of on the back foot from there out. It was really unfortunate, because I thought Vitek was actually, like, the Czech Republic keeper was actually really good before that. Like, his hands were awesome pretty much all night, and he was coming up his line really well. And even after the goal, he settled back into it really well. It's just a shame that he just let that one through his fingers. But youngsters are going to make mistakes, aren't they?
It's been interesting. Wider point really, but it's been hard for United to get keepers into the first team. There doesn't look to be a pathway. Everyone's had to leave or retire in some cases. because there's just because Dave has been there for more than 10 years, so there's been no way to get anyone through. It would be good. I mean, I'm not saying Vitek is ready for the first team or the Premier League yet, but it would be good to get some players through because, I mean, looking at Dave's position, it shouldn't be that solid. There should be a challenge there. I don't think they're going to spend money on that. There will be a gap because I don't think Lee Grant is staying. And so, yeah, there's opportunities for someone to try and break through. It's just really hard. And, obviously fewer chances for a keeper. You're not substituting a keeper off.
Yeah, it's the hardest position, I think, for any youngster, really, because there's so few opportunities for you.
Yeah.
Like, there's 20 clubs in the Premier League. If you wanted to get loaned out, you have to be the 20 best. You have to be the best of that 20. It's not like you can be a midfielder and get alternated in throughout the game. That doesn't happen with keepers. So it's just so difficult. And, like, I think to Henderson as well, because Henderson will surely be off in the summer after not playing this season. And it's thinking, where is he going to go, really? Like, one of the promoted sides, maybe. But apart from that, there's not many opportunities and not many openings because, like, being a goalkeeper in the Premier League, you have to be really, really good. Like, you still look at someone like Areola, who I think is better than Henderson, arguably. Really awesome keeper. He's number 2 at West Ham. And, like, McCarthy, who's been good for Southampton.
One of Pickford, Meslier or Nick Pope are all good keepers. Will be going down and be looking for another Premier League club, I imagine. So, yeah, it is a really hard... I mean, even looking back to Dave and his breakthrough into the Atletico team, he was third choice that season until injuries gave him the chance.
So much of it is down to that luck, isn't it? Just getting an injury to one of the players ahead of you and not getting injured yourself.
Yeah, and like for the youngsters and the rest of the team, that's sometimes the pathway through. If you think about Marcus Rashford 5-6 years ago now, that was because of injuries that he got his chance. He scored against Midtjylland. Then he scored twice against Arsenal, and he was a fixture after that. Yeah. Until recently, when he's not. So, yeah, Garnacho obviously made his debut the other week. He may be looking at opportunities like that next season. Who knows? What I liked about him and what you look for in some of these players is the confidence. Right? Yeah. So Garnacho has that kind of swagger and arrogance about him. I mean, he really wanted to score, didn't he? Really wanted to score. And scored a beautiful goal at the end as well and kind of got what he wanted and was kind of bigging it up. But that confidence, I think, will breed opportunities for sure. Yeah,
for sure. It's so inherent in the best players. It's almost like an arrogance that I am the best player on this pitch, and he kind of strutted about like he was. I think for the first 50 or so minutes, he was actually pretty quiet. He had a couple of nice darts in on the right-hand side, but as the game started to open up a little bit, like, he caused so much trouble, especially towards the end. He could have scored 2 or 3 more. He had one chance where he could have maybe played it on the left-hand side and ended up getting, I think, the shot blocked, or might have just shot over. And then, the way he took his goal was awesome. So much confidence, so much talent. Like, the way he celebrated his goals as well. Like, it's just such arrogance. I love it.
I mean, good for him. I mean, he's technically obviously very sound and loads of pace about him, and so there's a good chance he'll get opportunities. Especially with it's looking likely United will be in the Europa League. Those group games are a real drag, aren't they? But also give you the chance to use your squad. And so you could see opportunities there if he doesn't go out on loan. We'll see on that one. But I know apart from him, I mean, I don't think there's too many that are close to the first team of this group. Many of them have played under 23s and will probably move up to that level or look at loans. I wouldn't want to judge all these players on one game, but it's obviously Kobe Mainu is a technically lovely player. Isaac Hansen, we've seen quite a bit of him. Will he look to be a number 10 or something else? He's obviously got the kind of technical qualities. Physically, I think he's got some development. Bennett at the back, I think, is a good player. You can see him having a career. I don't know whether it will be at Premier League level. Mark Jurado, who came from, I can't remember, did he come from Barcelona or Madrid? One of the two.
I think it was Barcelona, yeah.
Barcelona, yeah. Probably a little further away from the first team, but a good player as well. So.
Yeah, I'm really interested in Hansen because, like, technically he is awesome, and like when like the moments that he had on that pitch showed that at least technically he was the best player on that pitch and was doing things that you expect to see like a professional, like first senior player do. And he has played senior football, I think, for Tromsø in Norway, in the Norwegian league at least, and that's where we got him.
Is he the new Magnus Eikram?
I think he might be, because like technically he is awesome. It's just the physical attributes, like that's just inherent, isn't it? And he doesn't look that pacey either. Yeah. It's like he's got really quick feet and he's super agile, but is he going to have the pace to run away from players? And I think that's the only thing that just might let you down. Football, you need to be an athlete, don't you?
Yeah. You need to be able to run, and players who can't run won't be able to make it at the level their technical skills might take them to.
No, you don't see many Juan Roman Riquelmes anymore, do you?
Sadly, you do not.
You do not.
Sadly. Wow. What a player, by the way.
Yeah. But I'm not saying that Hansen's going to be that good, by the way.
Just stand in the middle of the pitch, put your foot on the ball and don't move more than about 10 yards. Spray passes around. Yeah, it's old school. So anyway, look, awesome for all these kids. Great moment for the club, I think. Just a lift at the end of the season after what has been a dreadful season.
Yeah. And it shows just like, for all over the past few years that our United's academy has been hated on and saying, oh, it's falling behind City and Liverpool and all this kind of stuff. Like the talent that we're producing is enormous. Like when you said just a second ago about like these players aren't going to be in the first team anytime soon. That I think that's also because of the amount of good under 23 players we have as well, and all the players that need to come back from loans like Palestri and Chong, and obviously Hannibal in the under 23s. And there's so much youth talent ahead of these guys that it's not like this is like an amazing group out of nowhere. Like there is loads of talent in our academy above this.
Well, they did a rethink maybe 5-6 years ago and started thinking about restructure under Nicky Butt and now Neil Cox, and just because United had fallen behind. I mean, United's first team players were sending their kids to the City Academy. I mean, come on. You definitely have to think about what's going wrong if that's happening. So, and I think there was a sense that the club had rested on its laurels and hadn't modernised. And obviously, it doesn't mean that they have to have the Chelsea model of farming players. Yeah. But it does mean you have to be smart about local acquisition and acquisition from abroad. Now, that's changed after Brexit. I mean, United brought in a lot of players just before Brexit, and they've denied that's why, just before the rules changed, I should say. But now English clubs won't be able to sign players from abroad until they're 18. So there will not, the next Garnacho is not coming to United. They will already be closer to being established. Yeah. And obviously bigger fees as a result. I mean, I think the fee for Hannibal was 9 or 10 million. I don't know that there was a fee for Garnacho. That idea that there's an easier pathway to the first team in the Premier League than there is in Spain or Italy has been kind of long held, but things might change now as a result of the rule changes.
I wonder if the way that City are getting around that is using their City football group thing and using that Lommel in Belgium. There's a really highly rated Hungarian talent called Zalan Voncho who's gone to Lommel. He's 17. And obviously he's a City player. I wonder if United will try and do that a little bit.
I mean, I don't think we have any formal relationships right now. I mean, there was that period of time when... What was the club in Belgium that
Antwerp.
United had? Antwerp, right, yeah.
Yeah, Royal Antwerp.
I mean, I don't think there are any formal arrangements. Obviously, that the Glazers aren't about to start buying clubs.
No. Tampa Bay Rowdies or something, back to them.
Yeah, that's it. Do they still exist?
Probably not.
Have Inter Miami got the...
Are they indoor football, maybe?
God knows. I don't know. Futsal. Yeah. So, using the international system is going to be hard. I mean, because United, even if United identified a talent, we wouldn't be able to sign them to something to then loan them out. Whereas City Football Group obviously can sign players to their Belgian club. They have a relationship in they've got a Spain, Getafe. They own part of Getafe as well, don't they?
Yeah. And then obviously like Australia and America and
MLS and China, Japan.
Yeah. They got one in Brazil, maybe as well.
Brazil, they have a club they're part of in Brazil as well. Yeah. So it's not just financial doping they're doing through all those clubs, network of...
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there are no costs at Manchester City, and there are lots of costs at this 4th Division club in Uganda.
Exactly,
Wow.
yeah.
How did that happen? Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. But yes, it will be harder for United to sign players from abroad in the future, no doubt. So we'll have to develop local talent, of which there are some in this team. Some of them. Was it Reece Bennett was talking about going home and away to games? Can't remember. One of them was after. Yeah.
And my news from Stockport as well.
Right.
And it's nice to see them players that are really close to Manchester coming through as well. Because that is a long held tradition. I think even to recent times with Lingard and Rashford and Greenwood. Well, less said about him.
Yeah. We'll see on that one. All righty, we'll leave it there. We're going to talk about some changes at United and Ten Hag incoming, and then the women's team. So Ten Hag announced. Ten Hag won the Eredivisie with Ajax on the same night United won the FA Youth Cup. So 2 trophies for United this week. We're counting that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
21 titles.
Yeah, good win for Ajax over Heerenveen. Confirmed their title. I'm glad they did it. Not that I care about the Dutch league particularly, but the fact that United had announced him while they were in the middle of a title run, I was like, oh, I imagine the other way round. We wouldn't like that, would we? But I'm glad they wrapped it up and had some good celebrations on the pitch. And Edwin van der Sar came out and spoke about Ten Hag in, I don't know, less than glowing terms. I thought he was a bit curt about him, but the players gave him the, what do you call it when you chuck someone up in the air?
I don't know. The chucky?
The bumps? Yeah.
Bumps. Yeah, bumps.
Yeah, I don't know. They did
I
that.
I think that's when you hit someone, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Long time since I was a kid. And saw Ten Hag dancing badly. Really badly. A lot of dad dancing going on there. But he tried.
He tried, yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad that they got that as well, because I can just imagine all the opposition fans beating us with that stick, that he's just messed up the title, and ever since he's United come calling, he's started to bottle it or whatever. It's nice that he's kind of got that confidence himself to take forward to next season, and I'm sure he doesn't look like a man who's short of belief and confidence anyway. I'm hoping that obviously is not going to be affected by not winning the title and chucking away that, because they didn't win the cup, did they? They lost to PSV, and then obviously the Champions League thing as well.
They announced Alfred Schroeder as their new manager, who used to be the assistant under Ten Hag. And I obviously didn't know who Alfred Schroeder was. Looked him up. He looks exactly like Ten Hag.
Mini me.
Yeah, he is. He's bald chap with some designer stubble. So, but he's coming from Club Brugge, I think it is. So yeah, they seem like a very well run club, Ajax, who not only know how to work the market and the youth system, but don't spend months looking for a replacement. Just have it in the bag straight away.
And this is one of the problems that I have almost with the appointment. Like, it's a completely different club. It's a completely different situation. Yeah. Like, look at Peter Bosz. Like, when he left Ajax, where is he now? I don't even know.
Where did he go? Bosz. Did he go to France?
Let's see what Google says where he is now. So he went to Dortmund for a little bit. Leverkusen. Yeah. He's at Lyon now.
Lyon, that's it, right?
Yeah, his time at Dortmund wasn't a success at all, and I'm not saying that's exactly the same, because Bosz's time at Ajax wasn't as successful as Ten Hag's is, but the situation and of the two clubs is just so different. And I've had this debate with a few United fans about this. Like, some of them are just really, really confident, and I guess it's nice to have such a positive outlook in life. I'm not that kind of person. I feel cynical about most things. Maybe I'm one of those people who thinks that, like, I don't know, if I think the worst, then it'll be better than that. if something does turn out to be all right. And I'm quite cynical about this situation. But it's hard to be positive about United, and it's hard to have, because obviously this move is made by the board. They're the people who make these decisions. It's hard to have faith in them, and yes. That's what a lot of the conversations revolve around, especially like with Conte doing pretty well, and this talk about, we should have got Conte and stuff. I'm not necessarily saying that we should have got Conte either, but it's hard to go, yeah, we're doing the right thing because this, because I just have no faith that the board know what they're doing, and even since obviously Woodward didn't make the choice of bringing in Ranić, but it's been an absolute disaster. Potentially, It's not been a disaster if he finds out what's wrong and advises accordingly. But that's
if the club listens,
that's if the club listens, and that's to be seen. From what we've seen so far, it's been an unmitigated disaster in so many respects.
Not to go too deep into Rangnick, because we'll have a chance to in the season debrief go in further, I think. But yeah, it's been a disaster. But the interesting conundrum there is they got a director of football to come in as an interim coach, and because he's failed as an interim coach, looks like they're not going to give him any kind of serious role as a consultant to the director of football. I mean, talk about a sickening irony.
I know, it's so stupid.
And it feels like it because he's just been so public that he's not going to have a serious role, because he now feels demob happy and he can just say whatever he wants. So, okay, well, we'll see. I mean, there's been a lot of... I do want to talk more about Ten Hag and what's going on there, but there's been a lot of clearing house. So Matt Judge, chief football negotiator, has gone. He was the man who, with Ed Woodward, had devised this system of giving players contracts in order to retain their quote-unquote asset value, which has been a total unmitigated disaster, that policy. And so I guess it's not a surprise that Matt Judge went if Arnold was not in agreement with that policy. The chief strategy officer, whose name I didn't know, and I didn't even know that they had one, Hemant Seo, is stepping down. He was part of the finance team. So like finance strategy in some organisations are tied together. So I don't think he's really doing strategy as in like working out where the club should go, because there is no plan for that. You can see there's no North Star to United, no purpose other than to make money for the Glazers. So he's gone. So there's changes. I think it's 5 people, fairly senior people, have now left at United. Now, does that mean they're going to start making better decisions? I don't know, because ultimately everything goes back to Tampa. Apparently to microscopic detail of things like, can they have some more medical equipment at the training ground, or how much are they spending on the gym? Like stupid stuff that the owners don't need to know or get involved with. So it doesn't really give me confidence that they're suddenly going to go, yeah, and we're going to here's the budget for the football side of the business. You have complete autonomy to go and be as successful as possible given this budget. I don't believe that is happening.
No, and so, this is the big. This is the big worry, because this is exactly what we needed. It's exactly what Ten Hag needs. He needs all the right components, and
had that.
Exactly. Yeah. He's had a structure behind him, like you said about Ajax, where they're properly ran. That they have all the...
I mean, apart from Mark Overmars sending dick pics around or whatever he was doing.
No, he got snapped up quite quickly, didn't he, by the club in Belgium?
Yeah, football forgets.
Who obviously desperate. Exactly, yeah. If you're good at your job, it doesn't matter, does it?
Oh, sending pictures of your chipolata penis, no problem.
Yeah, but like even someone like Van der Sar, to be fair, even with someone like Mark Overmars, who was very good at his job, and Van der Sar, like, they're not just appointing, like United, just appoint former players and just hope for the best. Like, they actually send these people on proper training courses.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Like Van der Sar do like a 2-year course, and I think Overmars already did an accounting degree or something. Before he took that job.
Similar to Bayern, who have mostly football people in executive positions, but have a proper structure around it. Yeah.
And again, a lot of people like Oliver Kahn and Sally Hammers. Yeah,
Isn't
it's really not that difficult, I don't think. But okay, I made a meal of that. In places of authority. It's not like we're doing any different there, but I think we're just doing it without any thought. We're just putting them in there and just hoping for the best, like Ryan Giggs and Darren Fletcher and Michael Carrick.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying that especially like Fletcher and Carrick, I don't know how. Well, I feel like Carrick actually did quite a good job at United, and I feel like he would have definitely done a better managerial job than what Ranić's done this season.
Couldn't have been much worse. The reaction.
I feel like I could have done almost a better job. Maybe not.
Look, we're good at waffling. Well, actually, the listeners can judge whether we're even good at waffling about football. Yeah, I can't claim to really know anything about training a football team, but I wouldn't have had less respect from the players.
No.
I'd have shown them. I'd have whipped them into line. So
the thing is, I reckon you would have played players in the last few games of the season who weren't going to be at the club next season. So I feel like that would have been a more strategic way of thinking rather than playing Juan Mata and Matic.
You're not part of our future. You're not part of our present.
In a 4-0 loss away at Brighton. What could be worse? Well, losing 5-0 at home to Liverpool.
Yeah. Or 4-1 away to City, or 4-1 away to Watford. Yeah. Pick your poison. So, I mean, it's kind of. This conversation is kind of interesting because you just think about how much change there has been. So we had Carrick and his coaches leave. Obviously, Ollie left. We have 5 executives leaving. So we've got a new CEO, a new director of football, a new technical director, and a brand new manager. We will have, it looks like, a brand new deputy director of football coming to support Ralph Rangnick. I almost said that. Coming to support John Murtagh, may have that consultancy position with Rangnick. I mean, it's a lot of change. A lot of change, plus control from the top, plus questions around budget, because United won't be in the Champions League, and we know how the Glazers work their finances, plus 5 players leaving, 5 of the first team squad leaving. That, to me, is red flags all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't know too many organisations of any time that can survive that and not have some bumps along the road.
And my big fear is that everyone on the footballing side that will be brought in with a completely different philosophy, different personality. They're not. I just can't imagine that there's going to be joined up thinking in that regard. And I feel that to the way that we hired Ranić. And then we hired Ten Hag. Like, if Ranić was supposed to go in and still be this consultant who's heavily involved, which he doesn't look like he actually is going to be, those two guys don't have they have kind of similar football philosophies, but it's not identical by any stretch. They don't even know each other personally. No, like, you'd think in an ideal world you'd get a Ranić disciple if that's what you want to do. Like, Murtagh, it's supposed to be like a real big Red Bull system fan. I think he went and had a tour of Red Bull's system, and I think that's why he chose Ranić to be the man. And then we get a guy from the Dutch philosophy. Yeah, I'm not saying that there's no crossover between the two philosophies there, but they're not identical, like I say, by any stretch. And I feel like there's going to be the problem. Like, if you're hiring all these people, because our guys that are actually hiring the people in the first place don't know much about what they're talking about, they're going to be hiring people who have different philosophies, and they're going to be warring factions, and then they're going to be signing players on this for this reason. Oh, he's a great presser.
It still leads from the top, right? You know, what is it this club wants to be?
Exactly. There's no joined up thinking. It doesn't seem to be.
There's no identity, and that joined up thinking, that systems philosophy is not there. Now, maybe Murtagh is going to try and build that in on the football side. Maybe. And he's had a good career in youth coaching, youth development. Yeah. He hasn't done this before, so he's still got the training wheels on. He is, as I can't remember what Italian coach said it about Gianluca Vialli when Vialli took over at Chelsea. He's a learner driver in an F1 car. Maybe it's a broken F1 car. It hasn't won for many years. He's Williams F1 or something like that.
Yeah, Haas.
Yeah. But we're expecting him to help lead the development of United back to the top again. I mean, maybe that's what fans are expecting. The Glazers are probably not expecting that. Their goal, I guess, is well, we can guarantee our dividend and sponsorships and stuff if we're in the Champions League, so that's the goal. And it doesn't have to, we may be like, how do we get back to winning the title? We're years away from that. Well, we're actually only a few decent signings away from being back in the top four, probably. And we can stay there. Yeah. Sorry to get on the downer, but yeah, I don't believe the ambition of us as fans matches is the same as the ambition of the owners, and we should keep that in mind.
It should be a time when we're feeling really positive. There's loads of changes at the club. It looks like we're being restructured. Everything that we as fans have been calling out for years. But the problem is, it's not like when City hired Chiki Beregistan, or however you pronounce that, when you could tell you knew what they were doing. They were building a team for Pep Guardiola to come in, and then when Pep Guardiola came in, it was easy as anything for him to adapt to the team that he had. If Pep Guardiola had come into United at the same time he came to City, how long would it have taken him to win a league? So much longer than City, if we'd have ever won one. I think we would, because I think he's that good. But the problem is that we are not built like that, and the appointments that we make don't make me. It might make other people confident, but it doesn't make me confident that we're being built for a man like Ten Hag to just slot in and be like, yeah, I'll take this club to where it needs to be because it's built with my philosophy at the heart of the club. And it's not. It's definitely not that. Now it's not. And then when Ten Hag leaves, who do you get then? Like, do you get another player, another person from the Ajax footballing?
I mean, it'll just be whoever impresses most in the interviews at the time.
Of course it will be.
What I like, if I was trying to paint the best picture possible, I'd say if Ten Hag, let's just say he's a great coach, right? Yeah. And he gets a few good players and he demonstrates progress, enough progress that all the shit around it, all the change that we're going to get this summer with all the players leaving and incoming, enough progress that he's not fired straight away and he makes it through that first season. Because good coach or not, there's no guarantee he makes it through to the end of next season. And so he's able to demonstrate some progress, and he's able to get enough credibility within the club that he's able to shape what that football side of things looks like. Yeah. And I think it is bottom up like that. Right? Yeah. We are 100%. Not structuring the club for him. He's got to be good enough that he helps restructure the club, along with Murtaugh and Fletcher, in a way that demonstrates that, hey, there's enough progress here. By the way, Glazers, you can make even more money out of this. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, because they're not going anytime soon. But yeah, that's the only positive case I can make, that he's good enough that he can help start to shape the club. Now, I don't know that he is, because he's 52 years old and has had, 4 seasons at Ajax. And that's the biggest club he's ever worked at. I mean, buying reserves. And so it's not a track record, actually, that is of elite European status. No. Doesn't mean he's no good at his job. I'm not saying that. But he'll have work to do to help make things better for the club. And that's a big ask. Yeah.
I completely agree. I think I said on a similar show that we need a manager almost like Simeone to come in and do exactly what you just said there, to do it from the bottom up, but exactly how Ferguson did it all those years ago. And it is fair for us to be cynical about him having the capability to do that. Like, he may have the capability to do that, but he doesn't have a track record of doing that. He's got very good experience, and you hear everyone who's watched Ajax and the tactic gurus and stuff, they love him, which is awesome to hear. It's really exciting. It's really positive. It's just the structure that he's going into. It's like any kind of systems footballer, when they come to United, they struggle. Like Jadon Sancho, for example, he's had a really difficult year. He's not a bad footballer by any stretch, but you put him in a system, he's so much better than... And it's the same way you see Sancho play for England. It's the same effect. It's the same with a football manager as well. Like, football managers are better at certain clubs than they are at other clubs. Not many are able to just do it everywhere they go. Yeah. I think Klopp is probably a manager who can build up from the bottom. Hopefully Ten Hag can be, but it's hard to say that he will, because we've not got a history of seeing that.
There's a school of thought that now says that, and I know some footballers have done this. They are hiring their own analysts to go, what kind of style of football would suit me best? Where would I shine best? And I think that's the extension of what the football analytics world has been doing with clubs. We can look at the players' detailed metrics and the detailed metrics of that player in the context of the club he was at and the context of the league he was at, and we can compare across leagues. And therefore, without guarantees, work out, is this player going to be a good fit for this team and this philosophy and this future that we want to build, and what will he likely bring us, right? So that's how smart clubs do it, at least. I'm not saying United do that by any means, because we're obviously quite dumb as a club, but football is doing that too. And I think it would behove any player looking at United as a potential destination this summer to do the same thing. One, am I going to fit with the players that are likely to be around me? Am I going to fit into Ten Hag's system? Am I going to fit into the Premier League? Now, I'm not saying that younger footballers, which United may be looking at, will actually do that, but they would be sensible to do it.
Yeah. So. You just look at the players that are previously signed for United and just how badly a lot of them have failed. They're not bad footballers by any stretch.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we talked about this before, or maybe I was chatting with Wayne. How many successes since Fergie left? Almost none. Zlatan. Yeah. He was a freebie and only really a successful one season. Romero, who was a freebie and a great second keeper. Luke Shaw's, but one great season out of 5, 6, 7, whatever.
Not great, is it? I was going to say Ander Herrera then, but
Herrera was a success, yeah. And even better in his absence. I think his technical skills got better when he left, at least in our minds, because of the hole he left. But that's it, right? 4 maybe.
Yeah, and I can't remember who the rumour was about the other week, but it was someone being told not to sign for Man United, and I think he was being told by a former United player. Like that will happen, because
it will resonate.
We're a basket case, and footballers don't want to go to a basket case.
There's apparently a meeting this week with Ten Hag in Amsterdam, and I assume Richard Arnold and maybe Murtaugh, and in which Steve McLaren apparently attended as well.
Don't.
Return of Steve.
Though in Gary Neville's book, he said he's the best coach he ever had. Maybe he's a great coach, Steve. Yeah.
I'll call him Steve. I can't keep saying Steve. Yeah.
He was. Well, this is me being positive. He's good coach.
His managerial career has been underwhelming. After his time at 20, when he met Ten Hag was his assistant. I think he hasn't achieved much after then, really.
No, not at all. He did a good job with Middlesbrough, to be fair. They got to the UEFA Cup final somehow, where that season when Massimo Macaroni just kept scoring last-minute goals.
Right. So what is it? McLaren was at 20, Wolfsburg, Borough. Where else has he managed? Forest
for a bit. Newcastle
QPR
for a bit.
Newcastle, England, obviously.
Yeah, he did a good job with
England.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and I don't think connections with United's past is that bad. I mean, I think we've romanticised that somewhat in some cases. United, obviously, very different club from when he left 20 years ago.
I think you hope he's becoming in the Brian Kidd, because Brian Kidd was at City for so many years as well. He's even under Pep Guardiola. I hope he's more that side rather than I don't know, the tactical man beside Ten Hag. More the kind
tactical
of the
guru.
Yeah. Which, I mean, assistant managers. It's so much of what they need to be good at is rapport with the players. And you look at West Ham's, they have 3. I think Stuart Pearce, Kevin Nolan. And I think it's having that rapport with the players. And I think that's why Brian Kidd was so good for so many years at United and at City. And
Stuart Pearce came into my workplace once to give a motivational speech. It was everything you imagine it to be.
Oh, God.
Everything you imagine it to be, yeah.
Is his veins going the same way as after celebrating that penalty against Spain?
Fist pumping? No, not quite. Yeah. He'd obviously been on a few management courses, so a few sort of management speak thrown into motivational stuff. So anyway,
he was not a good manager either.
No, I don't know whether Steve coming back is a success or not, but there's a lot of change on the coaching side of things. I mean, he's going to bring in a new assistant. It looks like he'll bring his assistant with him from Ajax because he was actually looking at someone else as well, right? Whose names I've forgotten. Van something. Garg. And I'm not being racist, Tom. He's Dutch. He's called Van something.
Yeah. It's just the go-to, isn't it, really? Van something.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, so I'm assuming that all of Rangnick's assistants will leave.
I mean, yeah, they've got on notoriously well with the players, haven't they?
Oh, God. Yeah, like not at all. Not at all, if you believe all the reports.
Yeah, after about 2 weeks with Ted Lasso. I mean, that reflects really badly on the players, not just, obviously, Rangnick and his staff, of course.
It does, yes. I mean, look, honestly, this whole season, we've talked a lot about club structure and Ten Hag and his new coaching team, but this season reflects terribly on the players. And honestly, if for that reason alone, there should be a mega clear-out. And I'm not normally of the, hey, it's Football Manager, you change all the players.
Yeah, exactly.
On
release
cheat mode.
All.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but the way they have reacted, so many of them, it should be a sacking offence, but it speaks to their professionalism. And Rangnick has said that.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lack of professionalism. And it's obvious. It's obvious. No team and no group of players with any pride should lose 4-0 at Brighton. Just of their apparent quality.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting how they behaved. And all of that poison has to go, otherwise Ten Hag is fucked.
Yeah. And that's one of the good things I've liked about Rangnick, is about how honest he's been from the get-go. Like, he's not shirked anything. He's not ran away from anything. Even when he took Ronaldo off that time, like, what he actually said to Ronaldo when he was having that paddy on the sideline, it's like, okay, fair enough. I mean, if you were the long-term manager, though, that kind of thing wouldn't work, and it clearly hasn't this season because the players have just laid down because of him, or maybe because of him, but because of themselves, I guess, as well. But I do like how honest he's been. But yeah, the players have been an absolute disgrace, so many of them. And I don't understand, though, when saying that Rangnick, I like some of what he said. I didn't understand what he said about Hannibal, or the report that came out about him saying that Hannibal wasn't professional in that performance against Liverpool. I absolutely loved that. It was one of the highlights of my season. When he was came on, just kicking players. That was
like kicking Henderson.
It was amazing.
But from the coach, maybe he doesn't want that kind of loss of control.
Maybe, but you're 4-0 down at Anfield.
4-0, yeah. He's always been spiky, Hannibal. He's had a couple of red cards. He gets kicked a lot. He gets kicked so much, and he sometimes kicks it back a little bit. Whatever, it's fine.
I love it from an attack, like a player who's so technical like that. You love to see spice in them as well. I mean, as long as they don't get to Bruno levels where they're whinging at their own players all the time, but like kicking the others, that's fine. Ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
Alrighty, shall we move on?
Yeah.
We will end the pod with some chat about the women's team who completed their season. We don't cover it often enough on the pod, but there are some great people who cover the women's team all the time, so plenty of content out there. But women's team lost at Chelsea on the final day of the season. Not a surprise, honestly. Chelsea had won 5 in a row before that, or whatever it was, and were going for the title. It means that Manchester City pip United to that final Champions League spots, and then Champions League football for United next season, which is a shame because this was seen as a transitional year but a potential development year as well. So not managed to break up that triumvirate of Chelsea, Arsenal and City at the top of the women's game. But I think given that Casey Stoney left and Mark Skinner came in, progress.
Yeah, progress for sure. It's just when you see that game, it just shows how far away we are from the top. Like, it's great to see we're fourth, and obviously we're an infantile club compared to Chelsea and City and Arsenal, especially Arsenal, who've had success throughout. Well, as long as I remember women's football being around. Well, as long as I've been around, but. It's just, you see the players that they can even bring on at half-time, where they're bringing on G, and who would walk into United's team and arguably be their best player. And Sam Kerr and the Nordic woman's name, I've forgotten up top.
Pernille Harder.
Yeah. Like, the talent that they have is just, in almost every position, is just so much better. It feels like watching City against United in the men's football.
United is still a bit away. And I think there's concern that, well, one, can United hold on to their better players? I mean, Ella Toone, Leigh Galton both had great seasons. And can United sign players of a high enough quality to go forward next season? And will the club support that? With the kind of, I mean, apparently the wage budget is pretty good at United, actually. It's competitive. Are they prepared to pay fees and keep putting money into that team? I mean, it's not a lot of expense, honestly, compared to, it's about a month's worth of Ronaldo's salary, basically, the expense for the women's team.
And it'd be really interesting to see the fans' reaction if United women started doing really well, because, like, in that game on Sunday, like, it was a reasonable crowd for a women's game. But Chelsea just about to win a title. Like, I feel that United being the club they are, and we obviously had 60,000 at the Youth Cup final. If United were going for a title in the women's game, I feel like we'd almost sell out Old Trafford. I'd be really interested to see, like, what reaction that would take if United really did start to take off. But like I say, it feels like we're a long way away from that, and it's going to be interesting to see, with everything to do, like everything related to Glazonomics, like what they see as success is success just getting third and qualifying for the Champions League. Or being
I'm not even sure they'll frame it in those terms, honestly. I think they're very conservative, you see, but not having a women's team for a very long time. I mean, one of the first things they did when they bought the club was close down the women's team because it was a cost centre. A minor one, but a cost centre. And so it took them a long time to build a new one, and I think they did it mostly for marketing purposes. I'm sorry to be deeply cynical. There, and there's the finances in the women's game are such that being in the Champions League or not being in the Champions League doesn't make that much difference. I mean, it makes some difference in terms of, as I understand it, your wage cap, basically. So there is a cap on how much can be spent as a percentage of budget. I think I'm right in saying that, and which all the teams, by the way, break. Again, I think I understand how the economics of it work. So there's potential to be ambitious there, whether they will be or not, or whether they really care. I don't know. It has so far has seemed like they don't, but we'll see this summer whether they're able to pull in some because so the flip side of it doesn't cost very much to run a women's team is it doesn't take that much investment for a scale of club of United to start bringing in some really high quality players.
Look at Lyon. Like, Lyon really fully went for it, and I say went for it, like they didn't have to spend that much money compared to the women's football, and they completely dominated it for so many years by just bringing in the best players.
Being eclipsed now, as
the other teams have kind of caught up and realised that actually we don't have to do that much to just be one of the best teams in like you see the Spanish clubs especially, like how much they've come on recently.
I mean, to your point about interest, I mean, I think there would be lots of interest. Like, it's in Leigh Sports Village, which is obviously a pain to get to for everyone and not particularly attractive stadium. If they had 20,000 odd when they had the one game at Old Trafford, I think if it was an even better team, they'd be able to attract even more. There would be a natural interest base if the club wants to do it. Location clearly matters. Build it and they will come.
Yeah.
Barcelona have had 100,000 people at Camp Nou for the women's team in the Champions League. Wow, and I'm sure United could pull in really big crowds. Obviously, they don't want to play every game at Old Trafford. Women's Super League attendances have capped out about 4,000. It seems to be, and part of that's about development of the game. There's a new TV contract. There'll be better players, better quality football. Success in Europe breeds more interest, breeds more exposure. The the TV viewing figures are apparently way up. Just provide the exposure, people will watch it. It's good quality product, and United could do the same thing. So it's just down to ambition
and participation levels as well, which will increase because of the exposure. We think that how young the women's game is. 50 years old from when it was banned.
Yeah.
We're so in the embryonic stages of women's football, and as participation levels increase, that'll improve the quality, of course, as well. It just feels to me with United that I'm not that close to the women's football team at all. But it feels from the outside that with almost everything that the Glazers do, they're just doing enough to not be one of the worst teams in the league, but they're not ambitious enough to actually go out there and challenge Arsenal and Chelsea, which
it doesn't seem like it. It seems to be an afterthought, and which is a deep shame. But again, it wouldn't take that much ambition. I think Pernille Harder was the world record transfer at the time at 400,000. Right,
and you see how good she is as well.
Exactly. Right. So it wouldn't take that much spending for United to get to the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, the women's game could do with a second European competition, I think. I mean, it's got to that point where I think that will be thought about. So, again, I'm not close to Women's Football Administration to know whether that's close or not, but it seems like the development of the game around Europe has got to the point where that would be beneficial, and maybe that would expand participation as well from the different leagues. But anyway. That's the women's team. Good season, I think. I think there was a lot of concern, wasn't there, at the back end. Casey Stoney left for San Diego Wave, I think they're called, in the NWSL over here in the States, which does get good crowds and good exposure and celebrity people. If you look at Angel City FC, brand new club, a lot of celebrity sponsors there, owners. So... and obviously the US women's national team is, the world leader. Long way of saying that there was concern for United when our manager left for that, and players called out a lot of the problems. I don't know how many of those have been fixed. I don't think they're changing in porter cabins and don't have a toilet anymore. I think that bit has been fixed, at least. But there's a room for United to be ambitious.
You wouldn't do it a Club World Cup would be very interesting in the women's game for the European teams to play against the teams in the NWSL, because that'd be a real clash of quality.
It came to mind that Lyon own OL Reign, who are the team that play in, I think they play at Tacoma, which is just south of where I live. So, some European involvement there. But yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, because we got loads of the NWSL players over to our leagues as well, didn't we, when their league was shut during COVID?
Shut down, yeah.
Obviously had a couple of players at United, and it was a season where I think even Carly Lloyd went to Tottenham, didn't she?
Not Carly Lloyd, the other forward whose name I'm totally forgetting, who is at San Diego Wave with Casey Stoney.
Poor knowledge from me. But it's awesome that what it's like in America, because it feels like just forever again since I've been watching football that those two teams in America have always been on a par and treated in the media as such. Obviously,
not paid as such until recently, but
that is true. Yeah. But the way that they are heralded is awesome, and women's sport in America is in a lot of respects really, really pushed in a way that it is starting to be over here, which is good, but it is still a long way behind.
I think we'll leave it there for this week. I wasn't sure we were going to do a pod, but then I thought, there's stuff to talk about. So why not? Why not? And we can waffle on forever about football, right?
Of course, always.
All righty. I guess we'll see you all after Palace 4, United 0 next weekend.